Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, the destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in second chapter, verse number 32. Some points may be reiteration from before, but that's intentionally allowed, called Gara Parinyaya. Those who have heard, hear it again and again. God does the role of shaking. Guru does the role of hammering. Yadrichaya chopapannam swargadwaram apavritam sukhinah kshatriyah partha labhante yuddha vidrisham. Fortunate are the Kshatriyas, O Partha. Partha is a name for Arjuna. His mother is known as Pritha. And that has a lineage from the royal line. And Arjuna is a Kshatriya. In general, people understand by that a warrior class. Now, if you are not a warrior class, you don't deserve it. Soul is always, it belongs to warrior class. Here everything is allegorical. The entire battle before Arjuna, and Krishna is giving all these teachings while two great armies are in big suspense. Put just 10 people in suspense. You find they can't give very profound talk. And he has an entire army, two great armies, all in suspense. And Krishna is giving the teachings. The absolute calmness. Like the sky in the midst of thundering clouds. What I'm trying to say is allegorical. And every soul is a Kshatriya, a warrior. The very word Kshatriya has two implications. Term 3, pride, is the highlight of that Kshatriya word. Pride means seer, seen and sight. Subject, you are the subject, experiencing the world. You have the world before you, your field of experience. And you are interacting with the world through your senses and mind. All the three are not realities. All the three are fake. Just like in your dream. No matter how fake they are, the experiences are very clear. In your dream subject. He who is experiencing the dream is the dream subject. The dream subject is not you. Otherwise, you borrow money and give it away in dream. I'm joking, but the idea to understand. Whatever you accomplish in your dream as a dream subject is not your accomplishment at all, because that's not you. The world you are encountering in your dream, a world that has everything. You may have a house, you may have a wonderful couch, and so many things, friends, and all. You may be even climbing a mountain, or you may be flying like a bird. That world is not real. And the interaction between you and the world is brought about by your mind and senses. Even in your dream, something comes up. And in your dream, you open your eyes wide. To see it. No matter how much you open your eyes, you can't see. You are dreaming, that's what the dreams are. And yet you have your senses. Even in your dream, you eat only through your mouth. Taste it. Unless your dream becomes very exaggerated. In other words, there is a threefold support for consciousness. Relative consciousness stands on three pillars: subject, object, interacting experience. Kshatriya soul is the warrior, the hero, who must sustain these threefold pillars in order that the soul may go beyond to a high level where all the pillars are transcended. Kshatriya is one who uplifts the triad, transcends the triad. Two roles. Uplifts means first start uplifting yourself. Don't hold in your mind a degraded concept of yourself. And that's a big project in life. And there is nothing more purposeful than that project. Uplifting yourself, your thoughts, your words, your deed, your expectation of yourself, and the revelation that you can do amazing things. You are a ray of God. As you begin to uplift yourself, which is the purpose of sadhana, which is the purpose of education, which is the purpose of human embodiment, how much can you allow yourself to be a person of integrity? Not for others to recognize it, for you to recognize it. Should feel great about yourself. Today you feel great, tomorrow feel greater. The third point, that was the interacting experience. Interacting experience, that implies a succession of perceptions, like a cinema show. In the morning you may feel wonderful. By the 2 hours later things become different, because in the morning it was raining. A little later rain has stopped. Now your window was closed, now you open the window. You were up, you come down by the steps. I'm just giving you a simple way to understand that things are happening between you who don't exist and the world that is already here. Series of experiences arise on the basis of the mind and senses, which are themselves abstract. But those series of experiences can be thrilling, can be suspenseful, can be miserable, can be anything, positive, negative. You have two recourses. One, you can do something to have good dreams. Better your situation while you are dreaming. Or, the ideal, wake up. Your awakening may have two stages. Even while the dream continues, you are still climbing the steps, or you are climbing a mountain, and suddenly it dawns to you that this is a dream. Now your mind is stripped of expectations. Will I climb up there? Will I get the honey that is there in the honey hive? Though you will appear to still go on doing the things you had started doing in your dream. But at a deeper level, you are detached and you are looking at all this like someone looks at a sport called Leela until you completely wake up. Then nothing exists. To be a Kshatriya is to improve three things: your understanding of yourself, and raise the perception of the world, the way you look at the world, change your angle. The world is permeated by divine presence. That's what Lord Jesus said. Looks at a lily blossoming. Behold the lilies of the field. Why, everybody beholds it. But with Jesus consciousness, you are beholding God underlying everything. But you may not suddenly jump up to God level. But at least you can create a succession of positivity. As mind becomes nirmal, impurities of the mind move away. That also is progressive. Anger, greed, pride. And sometimes impurity relates to things that are very passive. You are sorrowful. Being sorry is also an impurity. It is a lack of intelligence, lack of viveka. You have light of the sun around you, and because of the light you see the cloud as dark. And because you see the cloud dark, you cry. Who is to be blamed? The light. Since you are seeing the light, and in that light you are seeing all that, shift the angle. Become aware of the light that allows you to see the dark clouds. That light has not left you. I've led you to a very advanced level to understand threefold involvement: subject, the world, and interacting experience. Spiritual movement causes a change in you, in all the threefold perceptions about yourself, what you think. Ghat ghat mein hai Sai Ram. God dwells in me. And God dwells in everyone. That understanding must go on develop. The world is permeated by God. Siya Ram Mai Sab Jag Jani. The world is filled with Sita and Ram. Therefore, the experiences that come to you, which look like pleasant, unpleasant, like day and night. Imagine if there was only perpetual day. Life will be miserable. The day is as much needed as night is needed. So prosperity and adversity. Adversity allows you to face challenges, discover your resources, become strong if you know how to face it. It becomes a God divinely planned austerity. If you are moving towards God realization, if you are a Kshatriya, then you fight your adversity in such a way that it becomes your austerity. And you emerge with your nose up, with your face right. So threefold movement uplifting yourself, seeing the world in a higher level, glorious, and finding your experiences all illuminating, enriching in a spiritual way. Another meaning of Kshatriya is not downgrading any of the three. Kshati, loss. From Kshati term comes Kshatriya. Protect the threefold fall. Falling in your subjective perception. Who am I? Little money comes in, oh, I'm so fortunate. Little money goes away, I'm so unfortunate. The day has been wonderful, but someone points out to a little mistake, a little soot on the nose, and day becomes bad. I'm making jokes. So you are downgrading yourself so quickly. Protect it. That's one type of downgrading, thinking about yourself. Another, downgrading the world. Kali Yuga has come. The world is coming to an end. Never was this world like this. And we start putting all the data, how many people have died, how many people have not eaten. And you collect data from the ocean, how many animals are becoming extinct. And then you ask data from the astronomers, people studying the stars. So in other words, your mind is negative towards the universe. Each time you think of the universe, a lot of sorrowful air enters your mind. So what are you going to accomplish in your life? You who are degrading yourself, you're looking at the world with a very negative mind. What's your project? What type of legacy you are going to give to your children and grandchildren? Whatever world you are trying to promote. But if you are progressing in all the three, that's spirituality. All the three are Maya. The reality is divine. So as your mind begins to allow the three illusions to move away, or the moving away has two stages. The stage of becoming more and more positive. You become more positive towards yourself, positive towards the world. And thereby, your progress becomes like a fragrance from a flower. And fragrance benefits the whole forest. In other words, you begin to contribute to the world something very practical, something very enriching. Basantavat loke hite chiranta. You become like the spirit of spring. And your presence helps countless. But don't start counting the countless. Just start where you are. Enabling people around you to be harmonious, happy, joyous, good-hearted. The spiritual movement must take care of all these three. Then you are a Kshatriya. And as a Kshatriya, your goal is not to go after victory and grab it, but fight the battle. It's the fighting that should lead you to victory. Not avoiding the fight and then you snatch the victory. So life is a battle. And this type of battle is a great opportunity, a great blessing for the soul. Animals can't fight that battle. As a human being, you have all the resources. And that, therefore, you should not ignore, and you should not remain passive towards it. And that's this profound message given by scriptures. Three things are rare: Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshraya. To be born as a human being, which you have accomplished already. Mumukshutvam, developing an aspiration to have complete fulfillment of the purpose of your embodiment, to attain liberation, God realization, to wake up from the illusion of the three. But while waking up, uplifting the three. And in so doing, you allow your battle go on. Even if you were to die in the battle, fight. Never think of retirement from this battle. So fortunate are the Kshatriyas, O Partha, who encounter such an opportunity as this great battle, this life, which presents itself before you as an open gate to heaven. Heaven with big H. Otherwise, heaven means astral pleasures. With big H heaven, that's liberation. Atha chatvamimam dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi tatah swadharmam kirtim chahitva papam avapsyasi. On the other hand, if you do not fight this righteous battle, you will be deprived of both your Swadharma and your fame, and thus incur sin. Fighting the righteous battle, I have explained to you, uplifting the three aspects of the triad, of the relative consciousness, uplifting yourself, allowing the world to be benefited by your life. So if you do not fight this righteous battle, then what's happening? You are degrading yourself. Your mind goes on finding yourself as the source of all big trouble. But a still bigger trouble, the mind goes on blaming others. For every trouble that you find within yourself, your finger goes up, pointing to something. And three fingers point to you. But you don't see the three fingers, you see the big finger pointing to others for what you go through. If you do not fight this righteous battle, if you do not practice sadhana and move on the spiritual path for attaining liberation, that's what it implies. If you don't fight the righteous battle, you will be deprived of both your Swadharma. God has given you opportunity for exercising your self-effort. That opportunity will gradually dwindle. If you do not practice integration, do not follow the path of integral yoga, then you are being deprived of the opportunity of performing the duties in a normal way. Swadharma, and another opportunity of your fame. Fame is like fragrance. Swadharma is opportunity to blossom. Fame is automatic radiation of fragrance. Both you lose if you do not take advantage of the opportunity of human existence. Now again, to give you insight into those words that will come again and again. Swadharma, paradharma. Swadharma is the duties that express in your life, just like a river is flowing. Pravaha patit. You do not work hard to determine what is my duty, what type of job should I do. No one wakes up in the morning and takes a big diary before him and starts calculating what are the things I must do. 5 minutes I must do that, 6 minutes. 30 minutes and 30 seconds I must do that. Seems very life of precision. But that's not Swadharma. Swadharma is spontaneous. A blossom, a flower is blossom. It doesn't have that mathematical stress. It just allows itself to blossom. And yet its blossoming has precision, a perfect rationality behind. So if you do not fight this battle, you do not take advantage of your human embodiment by developing aspiration, by being guided by scriptures, by Guru, and if you do not practice integral yoga in your life, in brief, then you are not fighting the righteous battle. Then what happens? You are confused about what your duties are. Your attitude to action is defective. If you are healthy from spiritual point of view, and actions or works that present themselves in your life, you will be happy facing. Look at the birds, how they face different situations. At one time they are twittering, another time they spring up, spread their wings and begin to fly. I'm just giving you for the sake of spontaneity. I don't want you to become birds. If Swadharma is lost, then your fame, your interaction with people, and the benefit that you could give to people through interaction, that diminishes. And that's a part of your spiritual growth. If a wave wants to rise, so many waves must rise with it. And the rising wave doesn't grudge about it. It's happy to see all rising. That's called fame. Not empty fame, otherwise you can go viral. Then the question comes, what is Swadharma? How can I know it? Firstly, theoretically, allow your mind to understand that your karmas, actions, come in two categories. Papa and punya. Papa means sinful karmas, actions that are meant to hurt others without any purpose. Acts of terror, acts of violence, acts of deceit, all these negative things, they are papa karma. Papa karma is never your Swadharma. When you come to Swadharma level, next point, while you do papa karmas, there is also you do punya karmas. Human embodiment is a result of mixed karma, good and evil, virtue and vice. So there are moods, times when people do a lot of good karmas, led by the idea of getting famous, more popular, etc. And then there are times when they do a lot of negative karmas. If negative karmas predominate, the soul experiences yatana, lot of torture, called hell. If good karma predominates, the soul experiences a lot of heaven, not big H, lot of pleasures of the senses in a world like a dream, which will go away which will be exhausted when your good karma has come to an end. But whilst masses continue to perform good and evil karmas, led by uncontrolled mind, indisciplined nature, there are some souls that move to Swadharma. If good karmas have been predominating within you, there is inclination to pursuing those actions that have come natural, led by your past karmas. Your prarabdha has been created, and God's plan is there for your spiritual attainment, spiritual evolution. And in that movement, it becomes spontaneous for you to be drawn to certain type of works. It can be of many types. As a student, you may find yourself inclined to music, dance, artistic talents. You may find yourself interested in serving humanity in a special way, developing a talent and sharing with people. You can be a literary person who can infuse great inspiration by your writings, by your poems. All that is righteous karma. As righteous karma or good karma advances within you, your inclination moves away from paradharma to swadharma. Paradharma means you are choosing a course of action led by your rajasic, tamasic ego, not your understanding, not your mature thinking. In simple terms, you are led by greed, false promises for your success and happiness. Greater the greed, greater the loss of control over your mind and senses. Greater is your attraction to paradharma. Paradharma places you in a situation where at times you can be thrilled and at times you can remain completely paralyzed, struck with sorrow. You are shaken constantly in paradharma. And sometimes you may stay on for months, a sense of great joy, but false type of happiness. All these are dramatized in the Puranas. King Yayati goes to the heavenly world, etc., etc. Now, if you are drawn to Swadharma, you have understood your mind is not inclined to lose its balance. You want to enjoy inner peace, harmony, be qualitative, goodness of the heart. Then you are inclined to Swadharma. Now, Swadharma again places choice. Perform your Swadharma, the duties that are natural to you, to fulfill the expectations of your ego, or surrender your expectations in the hands of God. And understanding that expectations, the world of your expectations, is absolutely limited. Open the window to God's plan for you. Swadharma allows you to do that. That's what we call pravritti and nivritti, sakamya and nishkamya. You can perform your actions sakamya, led by your ego. And you will gain lots of popularity, lots of happiness, success, fortune. But it is not the giver of the absolute realization. This is just described later in the Gita as is a path of southern path. Your good karmas lead you to a plane of happiness which is like the moon. Moon doesn't have its own light. You can't depend upon the moon too much. So having enjoyed a certain level of joy, the soul has to return. But only thing, if you are coming from heaven, you come with a better equipment. Those who come from hell, they smell of onion. You find certain children from the very beginning involved in the most devious type of, a cruel type of deeds. Even if they are playing with birds, etc., they like to choke them. And then there are children that come, fragrance. The heaven is with them. They come from heavenly. So, if you are following pravritti, the path of sakamya karma, then that's what I've described. If you follow nivritti, that's the goal. That's called uttarayana. Your consciousness goes on expanding. And you are led to the highest. And that is where all the scriptures point their finger to. That's your goal. But while all this is being explained, the simple understanding must be there. You don't have to become too involved in calculating. Am I doing paradharma? Am I doing swadharma? The simple calculation is, am I relaxed? Am I feeling, allowing the heart to feel a touch of God? Am I developing spirit of surrender? So once you develop that, God will arrange. If you were in paradharma, God will gradually either change your external activity or bring about a special transformation. One way or the other, you will find yourself involved in swadharma, whatever it is. If it was paradharma, it has become your swadharma. Bhayadranad uparatam mansyante tvam maharatha yesham chatvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi laghavam. The great chariot warriors will think that you turned away from this battle out of fear. Now, I'm just leading you to the allegorical, mystical meaning. Your mind is a big field of Kurukshetra, the battlefield. Ordinary thought waves are the foot soldiers. Thought waves that are bundled up with sankalpas, they are chariot drivers. They are heroes. They are called Maharathi, Rathi and Maharathi. And your subtle impressions and subtle desires, they are the astras, various weapons. And those weapons can be very powerful. So there is a whole process of battle between the divine and the demoniac, Pandavas and Kauravas, the lower self and the higher self. And there are certain principles of your mind. They are like detached, great sources of inspiration. Even though they may seem to be on the side of the Kauravas or on the side of the Pandavas. If you read Mahabharata, you will find personalities like Bhishma, Vidura, Dronacharya, great personalities who encouraged the Pandavas, appreciated the Pandavas. And Krishna gives the message, what will happen if you run away from the battle? You will disappoint them. You will disappoint those subtle principles within you that give you encouragement, that give you blessings. Once you disappoint them, your life is purposeless. But when you are doing your duty well, you are not disappointing them. They go on giving you blessings. Oh, he is my disciple. He is fighting against me, doesn't matter. Blessings. Those who hold you in high esteem will look down upon you. And just to make it clear, your battle is against three great enemies: mala, vikshepa, avarana. Mala, gross impurities, anger, hate, greed. For that you need chariot drivers, etc. Vikshepa, distractions of the mind. Lots of desires, etc. For that type of thing you need personalities like Bhima and similar powerful personalities. And then finally, avarana, ignorance, the veil of ignorance. For that you need Arjuna under the guidance of Krishna. And now and then you need Krishna's expressing his special grace, breaking the laws of politics. The laws of politics was Krishna was not supposed to wield weapons. But there were times when he jumped out of the chariot with a discus in his hand, going to cut down Bhishma. And Bhishma views all that as an act of grace. How great is God! He broke his promise to give me prestige. That's all highly allegorical and poetic story. Avachyavadanshcha bahun vadishyanti tavahita nindastava samarthyam tato dukkha taram nukim. 36th verse. Your enemies will speak disgraceful words against you. Now your friends will be disappointed. And your enemies will not be disappointed, they will be rather happy. But they have the opportunity to shower disgraceful words against you. As you are running away from the battle, the enemies don't say, bravo, wonderful, you helped me by running. They shower all types of muck. They will ridicule your heroism. You have no choice. Either you be a Kshatriya, fight the battle. If you allow yourself to be defeated, then you have trouble from all sources. People who were helping you, who were trying to uplift you, they are disappointed. So you are not receiving their grace. That's a big loss. And then the enemies that were acting like little sheep, now they act like wolves, tigers. Your enemies will speak disgraceful words against you. They will ridicule your heroism. And now you begin to view yourself. Enemies overpower your mind in such a way that you consider their ridicule as a real criticism of you. The enemies say you are just a pussycat. And you view yourself, yes, I am. And now and then say, what? No, I'm not. I did big. I turned away from the world. I developed vairagya. I go to satsanga. And they laugh. But what do you get? How much money do you have at the bank? How many fans do you have if you are a performer? And so forth. In other words, people following spirituality sometimes find themselves in a strange predicament, as if they are being condemned or looked down upon by the masses, as if you are doing something wrong and people are laughing at you behind your back. That predicament has come because error within yours. You have not allowed your personality to receive the blessings of the higher within you by accepting defeat, by not utilizing your resources, by not pursuing your Swadharma. Pursue your Swadharma, do your duties. Along with it, move to Nishkamya. Allow God's hand to guide you. Move away from ego's-based inspiration. God's will, inspiration by God's will. The sudden change, sudden shifting from egos to God's. That becomes possible if you are performing Swadharma with the intention of becoming Nishkamya. Then you have received all the blessings. Blessings of people whom you don't know. Blessings of various inner potentialities which you are not aware of. They all come up. And you are led to victory, from victory to victory. And with this I will conclude. Om Shanti Shanti. Each time I want to cover more, but suddenly I stay few.